Hey there. You probably expected this video to come out eventually. I'm not really surprised. But, hey. Um, I'm really just here to do a nice little tutorial for everyone back at home for Gingi. Gingi is, of course, known to be one of the hardest things in Ability Mayhem's entire history. Let's be real here. And me personally, too, out of everything I've done in VR, especially in, even like, I don't know, Item Asylum bosses, if you even, know, this is still like one of the hardest things ever. I swear on my life. But I've known a lot about this boss, and I really thought, hey, maybe I could, like, help people with it, I guess. So that's what I'm here for. Now, before I even get to, like, the basics of, like, oh, what to do for this fire, or stuff like that, or, like, anything like that, I really want to talk about Gingi's AI. It's really, like, what I really want people to know first, because, of course, Gingi's the main, like, threat. So I thought, maybe I could teach you all how to do that first before doing most of the other things. I'll probably make tiny stamps for everything as well, if I figure that out. If I don't, here's the times for everything on screen. Yeah. Now let's get started on this guy's AI. Gingi's AI is very weird. I'll say this personally myself after playing a bit, a couple of times. Of course he's always after you, but there are some times where if Gingi's too slow, he could get stuck on stuff. It's pretty common for this to happen, and he can usually get stuck in, like, some places that, really, like, like, right there. He can get stuck there. So what I usually do is I get on top of the Christmas tree to, attract him, and I also have a good head start on getting away from him. So I just recommend getting to a place where Gingi can get pulled out of that area of being stuck, and just have it also being in the same place that you can just easily get away from him. Other than that, him getting stuck, it's annoying, yes, but there are some times where it could benefit you, such as if he's stuck near the Christmas area. You can just, and you have like one piece of code missing, you kind of could just brute force it while you can, while he's just stuck in there. You can also, like, but there is the chance of him breaking out of it himself. He doesn't need you sometimes. Just be mindful of the audio cues of him walking close to you. But other than that, you should be pretty golden to deal with that. Now it's time for one of the main reasons. I really want to cover this too as soon as I could as well. The dash. Gingi's dash is been one of the main reasons most ends like runs end. Because people don't really know how the dash really works or how Gingi really dashes. People say a bunch of different things, and people get confused on like what does this guy does. Gingi dashes is the most wacky thing I've ever seen in a character. His dash is very, very, like, I would say inconsistent in my opinion. Gingi's dash moves in a diagonal type movement. What I mean by this is sometimes I've seen it myself when he does dash. He kind of like curves in a either the left or right. People mostly say left. I see it in right, but it's just whatever way, I guess. I guess it's just random or something. I don't know on how that works. The dash is very inconsistent, but it's whatever, really. You can't really do anything about it. And another thing is that sometimes it just kind of doesn't work. It's weird. And another thing is, as well, there's supposed to be a dash indicator, and that's when it's just like a little like red circle like consumes your screen. That's supposed to indicate. It's very unnoticeable on VR. Like there's like a little like it's just really like inconsistent, like not even noticeable at all. But people on PC or like screen in general can see it pretty easily. So I guess that's a buff for screens, I guess. But VR players, it's just a struggle. You gotta really look closely. So my biggest recommendation for dealing with this dash is to really just, I usually sway left to right a bit, just so like he can't really, so like, he doesn't really know where to go. And also the dash curving can also help you, as sometimes he can just smack himself against a barrier or something, and the dash is completely wasted. Another way to deal with the dash is just being in like the back rooms or Poseidon's place, just so you know there's so much stuff in the way. The dash again gets canceled and doesn't really do much. Another thing I also want for you to keep in mind, back rooms is one of the best places to stall out Gingi. It takes him a while to get around everything, and it is really like an easy way for him to just like get lost. So just like a little extra note for you to get, just to help you a little bit more. And for the final thing for Gingi that everyone is probably wondering, because it's probably the number one thing that kills a run every single time I see people do it, Gingi's teleporting mechanic. If you don't know, somehow, Gingi's teleport mechanic activates once you grab one of any of the 3 items that you get to put in the vault. This would be either the Trident in Poseidon's lair, the Neon Key in the back rooms, or Gingi himself in the Xmas lobby. I hate subbing. But regardless, Gingi's teleport is really random. It is really the biggest pain in this entire thing, but it is somewhat counterable. So when Gingi teleports, before he does, there's a little indicator of the paintball mine sound effect if you've ever played paintball, but there is a sound cue for what he does and a track marker. This is where your reaction times have to kick in, and this is probably where you're going to learn how to do quick reactions, as you need to see if the marker is either behind you or in front of you. And it is kind of hard to notice. I've heard people go in the third person for screen, so if you play on screen, again, that's another buff for you. But for, again, VR, you're going to have to really just look around really quickly, because this guy does not wait for you. He will go right ahead. This man wants you dead in seconds. But yeah, you just have to look around, and you either have to turn around quickly and start running in that direction, or you're gonna have to, just like, quickly just get out of Gingi's way, basically. Yeah, because there's also the chance, because this could frankly happen, Gingi can activate both his teleport, then immediately dash. I've seen people call it a tele-dash, because, that's what people just call it. What I recommend for that is just to, again, be in the back rooms, because as soon as he teleports, he's going to probably be stuck against a wall, so the dash is going to get canceled out. But of course, you're probably not going to know when he's going to teleport nor dash. So, it's just really luck of cards. I'm sorry to admit it. But without that all out of the way, it's time to really talk about what you have to do. This entire fight is very long. It is not recommended to rush this in the slightest. It is very recommended to take everything slow, so you can, just get everything prepared for what you're going to have to do in the end. So, in the Gingi boss fight, you have to collect 3 items. These, of course, being, like I said before, Trident, the Neon Key, and Gingi himself. These are all respectively recorded to their past memories, except for the Neon Key. I don't know where they got the idea for this, but I will not judge, because, they could have probably done something worse. Let's be real. In all seriousness, though, what I would really recommend doing is not really focusing on one thing at a time, but really going after everything. What I mean by everything, try to find, the Poseidon codes and the keys, as, they're in different locations. Me, personally, I would focus getting the green and blue key first, which, if you don't know where they spawn, blue key spawns under the hook, where in Poseidon's lair, and at the end of the Xmas lobby next to the bench there. Again, why is there benches? I don't know. And for the green key can spawn either next to the purple present under the Christmas tree, where it has the gingerbread, or next to the big red shell under that pillar, which is also next to the code. Which, they're pretty easy to get, you don't need to do anything for those. For the Poseidon codes themselves, though, to open up the Trident door, it's of course the same thing, where you just have to find a 5-digit code, which is scattered throughout the entire map. It could be anywhere. Now, some of these are in some pretty noticeable locations, such as, for example, in the Xmas area, one of them could be on Gingi's podium, or be under the stage light that's like right where the bridge is, like right there where I passed by, that specific light. They're pretty easy to notice, but then there's some in the back rooms which are nightmares to look for. Like such an example, this little crevice right here could have one on top of that metal bar, or below, under the metal bar. There could be one right where those bush leaves are, past that big pillar in Poseidon's lair. There can also be one under this broken, like, I don't even know what to call it. Those, like, these, like, metal, like, no, not metal, wooden, like, seats, I guess you can call them, I don't know. There's a broken one near the ending where it connects to Poseidon's lair. There's a broken one near there. There could be one hidden under there. There could be one under the diagonal air cube as well. There could be one near the vault area. There can also be one at the entryway to the back rooms. It could be part of it. Part of it's like hidden under the bridge, so you have to be careful for that. And there could be one on the pillar near the code for Poseidon. It can just be on top of that pillar, like that middle, like that tiny small pillar you can jump on. Oh yeah, and there can also be one. I forgot about this one. There can also be one under the Christmas tree that has the gingerbread piece. And that's all the locations. Other than that, you just put in the code, and then be mindful. It's not the same thing where you pressed it and it lets it change. You have to hold it. Luckily, they don't. It just slows you down like collecting a gingerbread piece. But it can also, but entering the code itself completely stops you. So be mindful of that because you could get killed from that. So just be careful. And for the final item, Gingi himself. Gingi, their locations never change. It's always in the same spots. It's always on the Christmas tree, behind the unlock, or like the Gingi's board himself, and behind the Christmas, or the OG Christmas portal where you would enter to go into the islands. They take, I think, a 3-second like integer volume to hold to collect. But so just be careful about those, because Gingi can easily catch up to you and kill you. So what I recommend for doing these as well, I usually try to get away from a nice enough distance to get away from him. Mostly for the one behind the board and the one behind the portal. So, and then I'll have enough time just to loop around. I kind of wait for a second to see if he'll dash, because he dashes diagonally, so I don't want him to look like he read me and kill me. So, and if he doesn't, then I just quickly slip by him, because I have a feeling, he's just gonna dash soon enough. So, But other than that, the gingerbread pieces aren't the worst part of this. But again, take your time on doing this part, because you could fumble at any second, and you're probably gonna have to restart the whole entire process, which will make this a living nightmare for you. So, after getting everything done, getting the keys out of the back rooms, which, the green and blue one give you the red and yellow keys, put those in the middle, and you'll get the neon key, which also, quick note about those as well, of course they have a timer, but the red and yellow ones are actually quicker and have a smaller gap, which are much more obnoxious because, it takes more time, but it's not bad. You just have to keep, running through, taking quick pit stops once in a while if Gingi's far enough away, so you can just quickly get those. But once you get everything done, it's time to put it all in the vault. Now, the vault is, of course, at the opposite side of where everything else is, being on the south, if whatever direction, I don't know. Regardless, it is very, very, and I mean this with every single fiber of my body, it is 100%, 1,000,000,000% recommended to get Gingi first. as Gingy is the only item in this entire, like, out of the main 3 that you need to hold to collect, which, you know, kind of annoying, but you have to get it first. Pretty sure it takes 5 seconds to collect, maybe just 3. I don't really keep track of the timing on how long it takes. But once you get Gingy, then that's when things really get, you know, difficult, because the teleport, like I said before, is very annoying. Just like trying to turn off my notifications here. Jokes aside, what's also really, really recommended is to collect every single item all together. Of course, Gingy being first. The reason why me personally, I collect everything at the same time is because, of course, that's gonna activate, you know, all of Gingy's stuff. So, why is this something I do? Because I can get used to, you know, Gingy's, you know, aggressiveness, or, you know, at his max power. Which, you know, is something you quite want to learn instead of, you know, just slowly building up there, because, you know, you know what's gonna happen. But if you want to take things one by one, just to be safe, it's okay. I would just recommend grabbing everything all together. Now, it's time to put it all in the vault. To do this, you're gonna have to go over there when Gingy's again at a far enough distance and has already used his teleport and dash, which is pretty annoying. So, finally, it's time to again put it all in the vault. To do this is again annoying, as each spot for each of the items have a, you know, a hold timer to put it all in, which it could be kind of dangerous, as, you know, Gingy could again dash or teleport into you and you could lose, which would be very heartbreaking. So again, it's all up to timing everything perfectly to, you know, get it all, you know, in there. So there's no, like, proper, like, or, like, which one to put in there first. You can put really any in there first. It doesn't really change anything. Nothing happens when you put one in there at a time. But it is recommended to put one at a time. If you somehow can put 2 at once, then, you know, that would be a good idea, because, you know, VR, you get to use 2 hands. But it is kind of recommended to do 1 just to keep track of everything. Once you put all 3 there, it'll say that you can collect Oryx. Oryx is the worst part about this, as you want to get it immediately, correct? Wrong. Very, very wrong. Oryx has, I'm pretty sure, a 5 to maybe 8 second timer on collecting. This would seem impossible, as Gingy could, you know, would have enough time to, you know, collect, you know, well, not collect, but, like, get to you in time, which, you know, seems impossible, right? Not unless they made it so where it saves your time. So, you can, no matter how much time you put into the holding, it will save, and you can come back at any point to, you know, recollect it. And no, it doesn't save when you lose. No, that it gets reset if the time gets reset there. But when, you know, in the same match, it will save. So let's say you put like 2 seconds in there, and then you loop back around to go back in there. The 2 seconds are saved. So, you know, this is something I really don't see people knowing about, because, you know, people don't really get far into the fight because, you know, people usually die at the teleporting. So, this is another thing you want to be mindful of. Once you get Oryx, you're probably really freaking out this time. So, or you're probably freaking out at the point of collecting everything and, you know, putting it all in the vault. So, real quickly, another thing I would like to recommend, stay calm. Take deep breaths while you're playing. And because of this, you're more focused and not freaking out on Gingy being right behind you, because if you're panicking a lot, you're going to get yourself killed. So, be mindful, stay calm, take some deep breaths when you need to, just so, you know, you don't fumble. But, once you finally get Oryx, make sure Gingy's nowhere near around you, or where Gingy, you know, you're able to, you know, get around him, because, you know, if you have no space on, you know, getting to, you know, if you don't have, like, the space to get around him, you're sadly gonna lose. But, once you do that, take the Oryx, go to the middle where the God deck has been spinning and rotating, smash it open with Oryx, and you will finally, after probably so long, you will finally beat Gingi, and you will finally get Zombie Gingi. Now, there's nothing else really after. He'll monologue about stuff. I won't really spoil the ending to you because I want you to experience it for yourself. But that's really it. That's the entire fight, his AI, and basically everything I could really think about talking. If there's anything else you need, just comment it down below. And yeah, that's Gingi. That's the entire fight. It's in and out. And I really hope you enjoyed this. I really wanted to make a video like this, and also to redeem myself from my last explanation. That was probably the worst thing I've ever made. And yeah, I hope to see you guys another time. Bye!